Hello and welcome you all to yet another episode of our small crypto talks. And thanks to everyone for tuning again. And as of today, we have a special guest stopping by. So guys, please welcome Nizzar Ben Chekroune, co-founder and head of communications at Banana Corp. So hello, Nizzar, how are you doing?
Hello, really good. Really good. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine actually. So yeah, before we start, actually, I've heard some things already about your organization, Banana Corp, and even met some guys mentioning you back in our videos a while ago. So I'm really interested to know, actually, what do you do there and what is actually Banana Corp to you?
I'm a co-founder of Banana Corp. I co-founded Banana Corp with Sander Gansen and Armin Zedekbar. Sander Gansen is the founder of NFT Tallinn, the biggest Nordic and Eastern Europe NFT events and Web3 events. Armin Zedekbar is the president and the founder of the European Web3 organization. And I have been involved with cryptocurrency back in 2017. Started very, very early into NFTs back in 2021, first quarter of 2021. I was the first person to fundraise to create a small fund to buy NFTs. I fundraised $1.5 million in late June 2021. I made the name of myself in the space, understood very fast what was going on. Degens, as everyone, both many of all the collections that you know, hold some pretty sick grails that I still hold. Faced the market crash as everyone, learned a lot. And in between, I had a company called Inception that I started, which was a big fund with huge ideas. Maybe it was too soon or I was too early in my thinking and maybe not with the right people to build it. And I finally ended up partnering with Armin and Sander, and we built Banana Corp, which is a holistic ecosystem that actually goes from events to solutions to a small fund that we use to help Web3 builders to create the future, I guess.
So as far as I understand, you are like a bridge between the traditional classical like instruments like corporations and Web3. So it's like speeding up crypto adoption, actually, what you're doing there.
Yeah, it's exactly this. I mean, the way we see it, because you have to have some convictions when you start a business. The way we see it is that cryptocurrency is actually a tool of Web3, not reverse way. Same with NFTs, same with SPTs, same with anything that is going to be built will be only tools that you use to interact with the new internet. And that comes from a conviction, as I say, but also an understanding of what's going on in the market. We've been putting our money where our mouth is. We've been walking the talk. So our understanding is that crypto, NFTs, SBTs, and all the tools that are coming, even AI, are tools of the new internet. So we are trying to be at the forefront of this building by not only ourselves putting our energy, our love, our intention into what we're doing, but also trying to connect the dots, as you were saying, and being the right bridge between the builders and what we call the real world. I don't like that saying in real life and in virtual life, but if we have to say it this way, we try to be the right bridge.
Yeah, just to generalize, for people to understand. Exactly. So how's it going to you right now? I mean, this very is pretty harsh, but actually we are pulling ourselves out finally.
I mean, I could give you two answers, I could give you the political one. And I could give you maybe the soul to soul and human to human one,
okay, as you wish.
I'd rather go for the second one, because I do believe that people who's gonna be watching this are gonna be willing to either learn or feel what we've been doing. It was the hardest year of my life so far. I'd say 2022 with the crash it's like when you get punched in the face. It doesn't hurt at first, feeling, you just like get punched in the face. It doesn't hurt at first. You're punched for sure. But then it goes blue and red and dark, and you start feeling it, and then there's this breeze, and then you feel hurt. So I'd say from 2022 to 2023, it was more of trying to surf a wave that I had never surfed in my life, because it was the first time that I had this crash. Some people already felt that, the early Bitcoin buyers felt that, but I'd say that for me it was the first time. So 2022 was more of trying to survive, and 2023, as much as it's a year of building and trying to raise from that dark hole, was still like the hardest year of my life. I had to rethink everything, my investments, my understanding. It's like if you are facing a huge mirror and you have no other choice than looking at yourself, what you've been doing right, what you've been doing wrong, what do you want to do, how do you want to do it, with whom do you want to do it. But so far, if I had to relive it, I would even pay for it. Like I would even pay to relive this year, because I'd say
that's a valuable experience, actually.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
That's surviving that, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, as people say.
Yeah, you go from a step to another, and then you will have to face other things, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I think let's go back to actually the basic, your early days in cryptocurrency. So how did you first become interested in cryptocurrencies and NFTs?
I mean, it was actually in two waves, The first wave was 2017. It all goes from a frustration, actually. In 2017, we are in September. September.
Like 6
end
years
of September.
Ago. Around 6 years ago.
End of September 2017. At that time, I was working with United Nations. We were actually doing some work for United Nations. I was working for them for 5 years, and I was doing cluster development. And one of the companies that I was helping was someone who was really into internet. He was a hacker back in the 90s, and he said, Nizzar, you really, really need to buy Bitcoin. I was like, what? I heard about it. I know it's for gaming, and I don't know. He's like, it's worth today $2,300. So it was already like going up,
Yeah,
and he said,
I can't imagine that price back then. And
yeah,
people
and he was
saying like it's already late to buy BTC and
stuff. Yeah, exactly. So it was like, but I was not even thinking that I was late. It was just like, oh, it's $2,300 to buy Bitcoin, and I only have 10K savings, in my bank account at that time, and that money was supposed to be for tuitions for my kid, So I go to my wife and I'm like, I'm gonna buy 5 Bitcoin. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, gonna invest in Bitcoin, gonna buy 5 Bitcoin. She's like, excuse my French. She's like, fuck you. No, it's not your money. You can invest your money if you want, but this is our kids' money, so you don't do that. And I don't do it. And then back in end of November, Bitcoin just goes from 2K to 20, early December. So it's like, and I feel that huge frustration of someone who's just missed the train, So I go, okay, now I'm going to invest in crypto, but I still want to have that curve, So I'm like, maybe it's too late to buy Bitcoin. Let's invest in Ripple. So I buy a lot of XRP. I see my investment going like 10x very fast, because it was like the first big bull market at that time. 10 to 20x very fast. I don't cash out, and the crash happens like back in beginning of February, I guess, or late January.
Just a matter of 6 months or maybe less.
Very fast, and I have my Ripples. I don't sell them, even though I'm like huge loss. I just keep them, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep them 10 years and see what's going on, and then COVID happens. I still have my Ripple, and then Ripple doesn't win like the lawsuit against SEC, but they win something, and they go from 0.16, I think, to $1. So my gains are back at that time. I'm like, okay, What do I do now? Do I keep my Ripple? Do I reinvest somewhere else? And it was the first time Gary V was talking about NFTs, and he said something special. He said, I'm going to bring utility to NFTs. And that rang the bell to me. It was like, okay, it's not a scam. What does that mean, bringing utility? So I start my own research. And by doing my research, I go on OpenSea. I want to try it. So I buy my first NFT, and we are 1st of May, 2021. Bored Ape are still minting. I go to their website. The website say, the first thing we do, we reimburse our mothers. And it was my mother's birthday. So it clicked. I bought a Bored Ape and my life changed.
Yeah, remember that time, that huge up, like a roller coaster ride in 2021 with BAYC just, skyrocketed back then.
Yeah. Dude, it was crazy. I mean, it was the craziest year of my life, and I'd say it was the craziest investment you could have done in lifetime of humanity. Like buying something for $250. If you hold your bike and everything that they give you for 1 year, you would make out of $250 $1.2 million. That's exactly what you would make. Yeah.
So did that turn out to you super profitable, right?
I mean, it turned out to be, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, okay? If you look at it, just, it was ultra profitable, because what I wanted at that time, I wanted to have a voice, I wanted people to hear my positions on what the future should and could be, just hearing my positions, just having a voice. And it was difficult because, I'm from Marrakesh, Morocco. I'm not from the US. My Twitter was back then very little. I had like 1,500 followers, not many crypto or NFT related people following me. And I understood that, okay, having a bike was a good way to start, but having many bikes or punks would be the best way to have a voice and enter the right communities and having those discussions with the builders. So I was frustrated again, not having enough cash to do it. So I called a Degen friend. Actually, he called me. How are you? What you're doing? I started explaining what was going on. At that time, I already cashed out on kennels from Bored Apes. I already made some cash out. I was buying other NFTs, minting cool cats, minting gutter cats, having hash masks, buying a lot of NFTs, diversifying my portfolio. And I told him about it, and he said, okay, let's try it. I'm gonna give you $60,000, 20 ETH. What should we buy? And we started buying. I said, we go all in on Bored Apes. They're like, what? Like, all in on Bored Apes. Within few days, I'd say within 48 hours, the prices started raising, and it was like completely crazy. It was like, this investment is fucking crazy. How fast is it going up? And I was like, you got to know something. This is Bitcoin for $10. Even though you're buying a Bored Ape right now for like 4 ETH, it's Bitcoin for $10. So you rather do something about it. And he's like, okay, how much do you need? I'd say $1 million. And within 11 minutes, I convinced him, gave me $1 million, and we started buying a lot of things. I bought it, Gutter Cat number 3, few grails on Bored Apes, 5 punks, Time magazines number 1, squiggles, all the minting going on. We were minting like 20 or 200 per piece. And I started having the voice I was looking for. So on that sense, yes, I cashed out, because I cashed out on my name. I created a name out of me, which makes this discussion possible today, In terms of finances, I'd say the portfolio went from $1 million to something approximately $10 million within a year.
Amazing, actually.
Yeah, but we didn't cash out. We didn't cash out because we had a plan that I presented in NFT NYC, which was actually creating a huge fund. I was fundraising $55 million by using half of my wallet as a collateral. It was going super nice, man. I had like all the investors. I was even in the position saying, I don't want that guy to be investing in my fund because he's going to piss me off, or he's just like, bugging me. So I don't want that person. I don't want that guy. I want that one. And then the crash happened and everything stopped. So there we are, having our NFTs, having our entrance in all the communities, understanding the game. And we went from 10, let's say 8.5 to $850,000. So we're back to square one.
Yeah. like everlasting process, like a circle of profit and losses happens all the time. Okay, so that brought you to your company like Banana Corp, forming that eventually. So in terms of the marketing and what you're doing there, how do you actually approach marketing cryptocurrencies and NFTs to a wider audience?
Here's the thing. I come from a marketing background. Okay, I have 3 masters marketing related: marketing and management, marketing and communication, marketing and design, from 3 good universities. One in Paris called l'Institut Supérieur de Gestion, the other one from Escuela de Administración de Empresas in Spain, and the third one from Ulm in Italy, Milano. So I'd say my relationship with marketing is only a love relationship. I love images. I love videos. I love sound. I love texts. I love how you can take a diamond that is inside a hand like that and just open that hand so that people interact with and understand what's going on. So when it comes to the marketing with crypto, we at Banana Corp, and I say we because I never take, even though I'm ahead of that part, I never take decisions alone. We have deep conversations about the vision. This is very important for us with my partners. Our vision is that when it comes to crypto, there is misconceptions with the market, including the thinking that they're purely for illegal activities or that they are too complexical for the audience. So we want to participate into changing that narrative by educating people, by being very transparent on what we're doing. You would have very few people telling you the numbers that I told you right before on my winning, losses, and what I did. Most of the influencers are not alone in the space. You know, I won't give you names, but most of the influencers in Web3 that you like or you follow are not playing with their own funds. They're playing with other people's money, or they're using their faces as being like the head and the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, which is okay. But I'd say transparency is very important. Like I could tell the space, okay, these are my 15 bored apes. These are my punks. This is what I do. This is me. You gotta trust me. And then, you know, truth always prevails. So you better be very transparent, be very educative to people, telling them how you achieve what you're achieving. And I think people would respect you eventually for that. They might don't like you because you're not meant to be liked by everyone, but they would respect you in your way of hustling and trying to achieve what you want to achieve. So yeah, educating and being transparent, I'd say this is the approach in marketing.
Yeah, that's fair, actually. I kind of relate to that. So speaking of the marketing, how does this volatile nature of cryptocurrency market actually impact approaching marketing? Well, if it even does.
The volatility of, you gotta responsibilize people, you know? We live in a society where we want to have it all. Like, we want to have the results without taking the steps, you know. This is how we were built in a way. Social media helped. Social media helped a lot on that. Social media created a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, a lot of thinking that people who are having what they have happen to have it because they posted pictures of their naked butts or whatever, which is not the case. Even a picture of a naked butt that goes viral is the result of a long time of hard work before that. So people would usually tell you, oh, you got lucky. And I always answer, it took me 38 years to get lucky from a day to another. So it's always the result of hard work, you know? Yeah. So when it comes to answering your question on the volatility, I'd say there is a lot of responsibility to take here. You cannot ask for a decentralized world, or at least a potentially decentralized world, because I do not believe in full decentralization. I think it's a utopia, and I think it's a bad narrative. Yeah, I think it's a bad narrative. I think it's a narrative that we use to split the world into two sides, you know, the dark side or the white side and the black side, and saying those guys are bad, fiat is evil, banks are evil, governments are evil, we want to be decentralized. This, in my opinion, won't happen, and is very a dangerous narrative when it comes to building. So when it comes to the consumer, in my opinion, we need responsibility in a way of saying, okay, I invest what I can afford to invest. If I go over what I can afford to invest, it's okay. It's my decision. If I want to gamble, it's my decision. But if it goes bananas and I lose everything, it's also my responsibility. Like, you would never hear me complain about FTX, about fiat going down, about my partners not understanding fully what I was trying to do. It would always end up being my responsibility. If something happens, is because either I didn't explain right to my partners, or I wasn't pushy enough, or I wasn't ballsy enough. So people need to take responsibility when it comes to volatility. You just gotta do the marketing in the right way, being very transparent, very trustworthy, saying we are trying to build that. We're creating an NFT collection with that roadmap, trying to do this. We're launching that ICO, trying to do that. It can go right, but it can go super wrong. It's your responsibility to invest in us and believe in what we're doing. If we fail together. If we win together. So yeah, that would be my approach regarding that.
And stop blaming others for your own mistakes. But many people do, actually. In crypto especially. Time. Yeah, I think it grows with the audience, with the people, like growing up as the whole infrastructure. See, because it's like a decade or so, it's still super fresh, actually, man. People. Yeah,
volatility goes with responsibility, in my opinion. You know, the only way of tackling that is saying the market is going up and down with a lot of strength. Like, it's like I always say, it's trading, it's normal trading under crack. So you got to be willing to take the risk.
So speaking of the next question, what are some innovative or creative marketing strategies you've seen in the crypto industry, and what really amazes you?
That's a good question. I like the fake organic. Let me explain what I mean by that.
Okay, yeah, far away.
I loved what happened with Pepe. I missed it. I was in New York City. I was there for NFT NYC.
Yeah.
My friends were talking about it. Some people were like, you got to buy that shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take care of it, whatever. I just missed it. I'm not bitter about it. I'm very happy I'm very happy for people who made it, you know, through that. The very few who did, I'm very, very happy for them. Those who lost, I'm very happy for them as well, because they learned something and they're going to be better out of it. So what I may mean by fake organic, when you have this feeling that it's growing organically without even any push, rather behind it, you have an army of people pushing the right way. It happened with Blur. Even though I do believe that Blur hurt the market a lot. I do believe that the way people used Blur is hurting the market. Blur is only a platform. You know, Blur is only a possibility. People could have said, we don't want to use Blur, we want to keep with OpenSea or with anything else, and the market would have been good, you know, and everything would have been not good, but would have been different. I would say Blur is only a tool. The way people are using this tool is hurting the market. But the way Blur was marketing is very smart, not only because they were giving tokens or whatever, but they came as disruptors by saying, if you want to give royalties to collections, you can or you cannot. And that was new. That was very new. Do I agree with that? Do I think it's good? This is not the question. The question is that marketing a success? And yes, it is. I love also the very traditional marketing, Web 2 type of marketing that is used with most NFT collections. Even though they're saying they're creative or whatever, they're using things that we've seen done by any new brand that is going to the market in Web 2. I'm a huge Yuga fan. I'm a believer in what they're doing. I love the way they're approaching things. I like stuff. I like the mindset. I like the community. I truly believe in punks deeply, but I think their marketing is truly organic. They're not trying. They're succeeding by not trying. It's only a JPEG. You get it or you don't. You buying history or you don't. You want to be long or you don't. And I like that narrative, which is highly responsible, gives you a lot of power. I'm part of something that I do not expect anything from. It's only me and me. I like that as well.
So that really what inspires you in your work, in your direction, which you're leading your company to, right?
The way we, I like to say we, because, you know, you can't succeed alone, you know?
Well, of course.
It doesn't happen upside down, but let's say the way I approach marketing, because, it's just by genuinely sharing the stories of what I like. Let me tell you, like, for example, yesterday I was talking with Sander, my partner, and we were talking about the whole visual identity of Banana Corp. that we started very fast because we are doing those events. We're creating events all over the world. We started with Web3X Fashion in Milan during Fashion Week. We've had Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Ariani, Valentino. All the huge brands were there at the events, speaking and connecting with builders. We're doing like very private events, 120 people invited guests. It's not a paid event. You don't pay, you're just invited. And you're invited to share your knowledge and connect. So we had to build our website super fast. And we knew what were the informations we wanted to be shared. And we didn't want to waste time because it took us like only 2 months to build the event and do everything. And we didn't want to waste time with designers, etc. So we said, okay, let's build something and then let's go to something else when we have time. So we built something that was working by giving the right information, being graphically okay. But now we're trying to go deeper into having a real identity because we have time and we have the finances to do it. We fundraise money for that. So now we were talking about what we wanted, etc. And I love the fact that Sander and I and Armin as well, we're really aligned on what is marketing. Marketing for me is truly nostalgia. And what I say is that how old are you?
Actually 25.
25?
Yeah.
You have plenty of wonderful years in front of you. I'm an old ass. I'm 38 years old. But let's say, for example, if I wanted to attract you, I should tap in your 8 years old, which is back in 17 years ago. So I need to look at trend 17 years ago and create something that looks like the things that you were watching, the TV shows, the animes, the tendencies, the cornflakes boxes, the colors that were used at that time, the color palettes that were trendy. And if I create something that goes in that direction of your exact 8 years old, I would tap in your nostalgia. I would tap in a part of your brain that is not objective anymore, that is behaving by some sort of nostalgic love compulsion. And this is the marketing I believe in. So as we understand our market is people from 35 to 45 years old. This is our range. So we're trying to have a visual identity that is from beginning of the 80s to early 90s, from Indiana Jones to MTV to Beavis and Butthead.
Just like reuse and reproduce what was before and then
no.
Like present it in a new direction, so to say.
Yeah,
or like share the vibe of the previous era and use it in modern world, right?
Yeah. Yesterday I spent like I had a dinner with friends, came back home. I had a long discussion with my lawyer wife about copy and copying and getting inspired. And it was a huge discussion. The kind of discussion you have with someone you love is always
amazing.
I don't believe into creating anything. I believe you tap in when you are in the creative process. You tap in a source of that is far beyond, filled with all the thinking, all the creations of humanity, and you tap in that source and you come back with an information. So you only create a mix of things that already existed. So, but if you copy anything, it's okay. I don't judge you, but this is not the way we do it. We try to create by tapping into something that exists and come back with something that is our understanding and our own mix of it.
So see you in a minute. Continuing our topic, next question is, can you share an example of successful cryptocurrency marketing campaign you've been working on and what made it so successful?
I worked on a marketing campaign as an influencer for Ripple. So really? It's funny because I started with them. So, but it was more of informative and educational type of campaign, Okay. Which was actually based on the fact that we needed people to understand what Ripple was made for as a use case. And I like to use this one because as I told you before, the educational part for me is very important. Saying that there will always be people using illegal ways to do anything. You do it with fiat. People are opening companies in the Bahamas, doing a lot of stuff. It happens every day. Cryptocurrency is just a tool. It depends on how you use it. But I like the fact that we were able with Ripple to actually say what Ripple was made for, to help transaction going faster, that it was a perfect tool that could be used for the traditional finance world, that when you were investing in Ripple, you were not investing in a bunch of, let's say, crazy degens that were just like dropping the coin or whatever. And yeah, I like that. I like that campaign. Then I worked for many other companies and many other projects, but this one was very special.
And what made it successful?
The fact that we were a lot of influencers doing it at the same time, I'd say. The fact that you had a lot of people, the launch, the way they launched it, the way we went viral and doing it at the same time. I like the fact that it goes like a wave, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and you have different people from different communities, from different backgrounds that can talk about these kind of things. So then you can attract a wider range of people.
So you've organized it all, right? Like a hub for influencers.
I did not organize it. I was part of it.
You were part of it. Okay.
Yeah, I was part of it. But organizing, the way we organize usually these kind of things, we're very careful. Especially at Banana Corp. We're very careful in what we're promoting. Because what you promote today, you are in the very small ecosystem of NFTs and Web3. You are reliable to what you've said forever. It feels like if you say something today, people would take you responsible for anything that would happen for a long time. Like, let's say, for example, if I stood strongly about my investments in newcomers, because I truly in my bones believed in what I was doing. And you could actually trace it into the blockchain and see my behavior in the blockchain with you assets, I did the same with crypto citizens because of the community. Community was always the basis of what I was trying to promote, So when it came to fast money, fast earnings back in 2021, when people were coming and saying, can you promote my project, etc., I was very careful, very, very careful not to go for fast earnings, and be careful because people would, they believe in you telling them the truth. So if you do that because you have at the back a kind of deal that you're pumping a token or a collection, it's something that I've never been part of that, and I won't.
Okay, so generalizing it, to be successful in your opinion is to be persistent, be very careful, and be very strong arm about that, right?
Yeah, but not fully. I'd say being careful is a dangerous word. It's a dangerous word to say be careful. So when you say to someone be careful, you almost tell him there is a possibility for you to fail. In a way of how we've been depicting failure in our societies. I'd say fail fast, fail hard, fail faster, fail harder, and learn and move on. So being careful is absolutely not the word that I would use, it's like,
okay,
just go try shit that makes you happy and fail super fast and recover and try again.
Okay, speaking of failures and all other stuff related to that, so I assume you do invest money in NFT, like you said before, in crypto. So I really wonder, have you lost a lot of money investing in cryptocurrency, and what did you learn from that experience, right?
There's two ways of looking at losses: how much it cost you and how much you could have made out of it.
Yeah, and when it comes to
how much it cost me, it didn't cost me much. It cost me the few thousands of dollars that I spent on Ripple back in 2017. So everything that happened to me happened because of that, and everything that happened to me was based on my willing to try things. Okay, but when it comes to my potential winnings, I lost millions. When it comes to that, it's as easy as it is. And I'm not a millionaire today. But that's just, money is important in a way of how it can create some kind of comfort zone where you can feel you're not harassed by the outside world, paying the bills, savings for your kids. And even that, I don't believe in. Don't tell my wife. I believe my kids are going to be what they have to be, no matter what I make or no matter what kind of shield I build on top of their head. So yeah, money is something you can recover, depending on what kind of hustler you are, what learnings you had from your failures. Money is something that comes and goes. It's just energy. But when it comes to your mental health, and the way you deal with that is the most important part. It's very hard, it's very hard and important to recover from something like that. Like I wasn't a millionaire when I started. I was on a wallet, which is on a paper, but you know how it works. You can click and cash out. I was a multimillionaire, and I hope my friends say I didn't change much, but I can still see myself, I can still see the things that made me not worthy enough to holding that money and do something. I was not ready. I was not ready at all. I wouldn't have used that money for something that would be special and valuable for the outside world. So that is why it's gone. So next time it comes back, I make sure that I am aligned with values that helps people.
Yeah, that's the point, actually. And speaking of the future, like the days that will come, so how do you actually see cryptocurrencies evolving in the future?
The future is my favorite moment. My favorite movie was Back to the Future.
But you are optimistic on that.
Yeah, I love the future. I'm so optimistic. I was yesterday, as I told you, I was having discussions at dinner with friends, and some friends are saying, yeah, with social media, AI, we're very afraid for our kids, etc. I have 2 kids, one of 10, one of 3. And I said, I'm super optimistic for them because they are born with those tools. We've met those tools along the way, and we had to understand that they were born with that, and they would do good with that. When it comes to cryptocurrency, as I see it, I don't believe in a two-side bipolar world where it's either or. I believe in a world with an esperluette, we say in French, with an end. A world where it's the normal world, as we know it today, most of us, fiat, etc. And a world where cryptocurrency is actually, in my opinion, every brand is going to have its own currency. You will be able in the future to pay with a Nike token or with the Nike currency at a McDonald's store. And the same way with the McDonald's store, you could be able to pay somewhere else. Like it will be just the way of swapping those tokens and those currencies super fast. And you will have a different experience paying with those currency. You would still be able to pay in fiat, but when you would pay with the Nike currency, you would have some sort of relationship with Nike. I still believe that Nike is going to have their own schools. We're going to see super soon a school of design by Nike, school of cooking by McDonald's or whatever. I do believe that marketing and brands are going to evolve this way, and cryptocurrency is just going to be the right tool to have a relationship with those brands in the future.
Like speeding up of like interchangeable process, speeding up the things changing process. Like when right now we have like fiat money changing, later we will have like one token for another good.
Exactly. And once again, it depends on where you position yourself in the future. I always say I live 50 years from now and I come back raising awareness on what's missing. That's my job. My job is not to live here. My job is to live where my grandchildren are going to be living, and raise awareness on what's missing.
Yeah,
you come back and you say, when this is going to happen, we will have to have, and we will need to have this, and that. So you build with the knowledge of what can go wrong, and it will go wrong eventually. But maybe you can create the right tools with the knowledge that we have today, with what social media became because of us. We can use that knowledge, creating something special for our kids to protect them from what cryptocurrency and tokenization of everything is going to happen for them. So yeah, that's what I believe in.
Okay, so concluding our prolific talk actually. So I'm really curious, what advice do you have for someone who is like new to the world of cryptocurrencies or just starting out?
Get educated. Get educated. Be creative in your way of learning. Don't go the normal way, which is just like tapping something on Google and just searching. Try to listen to people you don't agree with as much as you can. This is how you get smarter. You get smarter by listening to people you don't agree with. As long as these guys are not just like a bunch of degens assholes, But listen to people you don't agree with. That's how you build your critical thinking. Try try to overcome the imposter syndrome, because when you start learning something, you feel you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough, and you just postpone, and you never do. So I am a learner by doing. I learn by burning my hand. That's how I learned that fire burns. Some people learn by reading or listening to someone saying fire is going to burn you. That's the way they learn. The way I learn is that putting my hand on the fire, I'm like, oh, it burns, and I move on. So either you find your mentor, either you find the people that you truly with your heart believe and trust, and you go their way, building your critical thinking out of it, or you learn by doing. But in any case, I'd say do it and fail and fail a lot.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Speaking of Nike.
Speaking of Nike, that's one of my favorite line of everything. Just do it. It comes with everything.
Yeah, simple but yet understandable, and shared by everyone.
Hey, that's how we need to make crypto simple and yet available to share with everyone. Simple way.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
Actually, a good ending point for our today's super rich and prolific talk. Again, thank you, Nizzar, for tuning in, for stopping by here.
Thank you
so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Again, guys, just to refresh your memory, Nizzar Ben Chekroune is co-founder and head of communication at Banana Corp, who was visiting us today, and big thank you to him.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, if you want to connect with me, I'd say Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You find me under Nizzar with Nizzar or at the Nizzar. THENIZZAR. And if you need anything that comes to discussing your understanding of crypto, NFTs, Web3, please hit me with a message. I'll be very happy to help you out.
Yeah, we definitely will put that in the description box below. Thanks again, guys, for tuning, for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you again. See you next time.
Great.